healthy fruit leather on the dehydrator, carrot cake muffins, little mini quiches, and homemade bagels. Stick around while we prep breakfast for the week. Hey everyone, thank you for stopping by Kelly's Prepping Kitchen. I don't know about you, but I skip breakfast way more than I should. I'm just so busy in the mornings, always on the go. So I am going to make up a batch of 3 different breakfast items that you can grab and go. I had to go to the store to Aldi. While I was there, I got a little sidetracked and bought a couple of other things. I'll show you that haul in a few seconds. It's a small haul, but I wanted to show you anyway. So I'm going to be making 2 ingredient bagels. I need to use up some raisins and some carrots. So I am going to be making carrot cake muffin. I found a good deal on strawberries and grapes at Aldi for like $1.39 a pound or something. So I'm going to be making some healthy fruit roll-ups on the dehydrator. I am also going to make some quiche bites. Stick around, let me show you my Aldi haul and then we'll get started. I was able to get these raspberry, grape, and blueberry vines, and then the grapes were on sale, so that's what I'm going to use as the base in the fruit roll-ups on the dehydrator. And I also am obsessed with burnt ends, so I wanted to try the pork burnt ends. And again, the strawberries were on sale. Unplanned purchase, but I'm going to add those with the grape. I got some French onion dip because for the 2 ingredient bagels, you can use your best bet, if you can, is to use a plain Greek yogurt because it's probably going to have the most protein, if that's something that is of interest to you. One of the substitutes, if you don't have Greek yogurt, you can use cottage cheese, ricotta cheese. You can use sour cream. That's what the base of this French onion dip is. I wanted to just put a couple of dollops of this in there just for some added flavor. It's not necessary. So let's get started. First, we need a little pick-me-up. This Thai tea from Costco is awesome. You just do half the ratio of the tea to half the ratio of the milk. And it tastes just like what you get in the coffee shops. Adding ice is optional, but that's how they do it in the cafes, so love it. To make the fruit leather, you first want to cut off all the stems of the strawberries, and then cut them down a little bit smaller so that they're easier to dissolve when you're cooking them on the stovetop. I also made sure to rinse them real good, and I added a little bit of cranberry juice, grapes, and I went ahead and threw some raspberries in there. Then I went in with my emulsion blender and just got it really smooth. I ended up adding gelatin to it before I put it on the dehydrator just to thicken it up and give it a good binding agent. I really think your climate has a lot to do with how long it takes to dehydrate. There's a lot of moisture in the air, so it took a lot longer than I thought it would. Okay, so now I'm going to try one of my fruit roll-ups, even though I've had these before, but Corey is the one that rolled them. I probably would have made them half the size, but you can peel it and then save some for later. See? So let me roll this other half back up. Alright, so as you can see, very, very similar to a fruit roll-up. The gelatin makes it very pliable, bendable. If you're vegetarian or vegan, you can use that. Is it called pectin? I think it's kind of the same concept, kind of a binding agent. But this way, when you make them at home, you know what ingredients you're putting in there. In this case, it was just, fruit and a couple of splashes of cranberry juice. It's very good. You can see the seeds in there. I like it. 2 thumbs up. Okay, so next we're going to move on to the quiche, and this is one of those use what you got recipes. You can obviously mix and match. We're going to use some eggs And I have some leftover asparagus I need to use, so I'm going to chop that up. You're going to need 2 pie crusts that are thawed out. I am going to put some pork sausage in here for the meat, and for the cheese I'm going to use mozzarella because that's what I've got. You can season it however you want. You're going to need some milk, and some heavy whipping cream is optional. I've got this cup here because I'm trying to decide whether to use this to cut out the pie crust or this cookie cutter. This is a little bit bigger, and you're going to want to spray your pans. You're going to set the oven to 375, and we will go ahead and get this assembled. I will leave a link to the recipe in the description box below. Sit tight. If the pan looks dingy, it's because I used this a few hours ago to make breakfast potatoes, so I don't want to dirty another pan when I can just reuse this one. First, I'm just going to break up the sausage and get it brown. There wasn't a whole lot of grease, but I went ahead and blotted it anyway. We also cut up the asparagus and added some of our favorite seasonings. And then I just took this pint-sized mason jar and began cutting pieces to fit at the bottom of the muffin tins. We repeated those same steps with the second pie crust in the box. I set that leftover pie crust aside to make some cinnamon sugar pie crust cookies at a later date. So I just continued to assemble these quiches. I put the sausage, the asparagus that I cut up. I added some freeze-dried red onions and then topped it with some cheese, and then finally just poured and I found some Augustin Farm spinach, and I just went ahead and poured the egg mixture into all the little tins. Little quiches turned out perfect. Over here they overflowed just a little bit, but so 25 minutes in the oven was the perfect amount of time. I'm just going to let them cool. This is the sausage quiche that has asparagus, and I put some of your freeze-dried onions, purple onions in it.
It's good.
You like it?
Mm-hmm. Is it a canned asparagus or what?
No, not the one you canned. The just fresh one that was in the fridge that we need to use. I like that. That's part of our breakfast prep for next week, so we don't skip breakfast.
After eating one of these, I was like, man, this thing really is good, and the sausage is really good. And so Kelly told me I should use the Aldi sausage. I bought a lot of it, but we never used it. And also, the Aldi sausage is a really good price, like $2.15 a pound or something, or 12 ounce. I'm not sure what size it is, but it's cheaper than in your box store. But give that Aldi sausage a try, because it makes these things fantastic.
And aren't you going to use it on the freeze dryer?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to do a freeze dry breakfast this weekend. Eggs, potatoes, and the Aldi sausage.
Are you going to put peppers or anything in it?
Peppers, onions.
The whole
thing.
The whole shebang. Now we're going to move over to the carrot cake muffins. And so what I'm going to use here, I'm just going to keep it simple, use what I've got. I've got these Martha White muffin mixes. I'm going to use an apple cinnamon and a cinnamon sugar. I think those will be fine together. And we've got some shredded carrots, but these need to be used up quicker. And again, I'm going to start pointing out that a lot of what I use is past its best by. See how that says January 4th of this year, and we're now in the middle of March. We tasted these. These are fine. I'm just going to grate them on my cheese grater. And then these raisins here, let's see where their best by. Their best by date was July of 22. They're still fine, but I'm going to go ahead and use those up. Then I'm going to use some walnut halves, probably dice those up a little bit more, make them into smaller pieces. I've got an apple that's getting a little bit sketch. Going to go ahead and add that. And then Corey wanted cream cheese. So what I'm going to do, since I plan on making these to freeze, and I don't know what it will be like putting cream cheese on the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop a dollop on the top of the batter, and then the cake part will bake over it, so when you bite into it, you'll get a surprise of cream cheese. I've done this before with cupcakes, but anyway, so stick around while we make this. I have the oven set to 400, and we're just going to make these according to the package directions. After adding the raisins and the apples, I had to get Corey to help me with the carrots because they were so small I was afraid I was going to cut my hand. And then we chopped the walnuts up. I also threw some bee pollen and some flaxseed into the mix, and then added a little bit of Greek yogurt just so it wouldn't be so dry with all the added ingredients. Then I went ahead and put it into the muffin tins, added a scoop of the cream cheese to the raw dough, and getting it ready for the oven. So we made the mini muffins. Look, you can see the pieces of apple in it. These are pretty good. But what I'm going to do is, instead of making the mini muffins, I'm going to make them a little bit bigger, like in a normal cupcake size pan. With the leftover batter, we were able to make 6 normal size muffins.
Good, good, bub. I can taste the apple. The apple and the spice, and then with the carrot, I mean, that's a really good combination.
I don't think I've come across a raisin yet. Oh wait, no, here's a raisin. So here's one of the bigger ones. I was able to make 6 of these. Yeah, you can see some of the raisins.
Still steaming.
Yeah, these just came out of the oven, so.
I got a raisin on that one.
Yeah, and the slimy part that looks like it's not cooked, that's the cream cheese, because if we're going to store these frozen to pull out and meal prep later, then it might be kind of weird with cream cheese icing on top, so I just kind of put it in the middle so you could still taste it. We got these at the Dollar Tree, I think, back when it was the Dollar Tree, not the $1.25 tree. So these little Martha White packets are pretty good. You can actually use these to make waffles in your waffle iron, and they're just very versatile, like now $1.25 a pack, but they're pretty good. And you can doctor them up, put whatever you want in them, and make them your own.
Okay. I grabbed one that she just took out of the oven. Has the frosting in it, like she said. A whole nother level. Really good, guys. Try it.
And just, if you plan on putting these in the freezer, then you want to make sure, this kind of sounds weird, but pre-freeze them first individually so they're hard enough, and then you can put them in a Ziploc bag or something. And the reason some of these came apart was I removed them from the pan while the pan was still warm, so don't make that mistake. Yeah, just freeze these individually so they're hard all the way through, and then put them in a Ziploc bag, and it'll be okay for them to touch each other. They won't get all clumped together and stuff. So to make these 2 ingredient bagels, we are going to use some self-rising flour and some Greek yogurt. Now, the reason it's 2 ingredients is because I'm using the self-rising. If you're going to use the all-purpose flour, you're going to want to follow the steps to add the salt and the baking powder. I will be sure to leave the measurements in the description box below. We're pretty much just going to do about a half of the flour, the self-rising flour, and half of the Greek yogurt. And you're just going to mix it, roll it into a ball, and get it all nice and firm like you would do if you were kneading bread. And then once it's in the shape of a ball, we're going to just cut it into fourths. These little silicone things are not necessary. You can definitely make bagels without them, but we use those along with a little bit of egg wash. So the egg wash is going to act as a binder to hold the seasonings, and we are going to use this, what is it called? The everything but the bagel type seasoning. If you don't have this, you can totally mix, I think it's like dried onion, garlic, black pepper, poppy seeds,
I don't know,
sesame
maybe.
seeds, I don't know. But anyway, whatever you want to put on the top of your bagels, or enjoy them plain. So we just sprinkled a little bit of the everything but the bagel seasoning on the top. And baked it till a golden brown. Then we just fried up the egg wash and made a ham, egg, and cheese sandwich out of it that we microwaved for a few. So for the last taste test of our breakfast prep, we made little sandwiches out of our bagels. I heated mine extra because I like my cheese all melty and everything. What do you think?
Very good.
Is it good?
The bagel's actually pretty tasty.
But oh, just a pro tip. I'm sure if you've tasted everything bagel seasoning before, you know how potent it is. It's like really salty. That's why we weren't just covering the whole thing. We were just kind of drizzling a little bit over the top. So just heads up on that. Mine's still too hot. I'm going to have to wait. I guess while we wait, I can just tell you thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed spending the day in the kitchen with us doing our breakfast prep. If you try any of these recipes, we did the fruit leather, the quiche, now the bagel sandwiches, and I felt like, what was the other thing we made? Oh, the apple cinnamon muffins.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the carrot cake.
Sorry.
Let me know if you try any of these and what your thoughts are, and I guess I should do a taste test now.
They're
It's still
really
pretty
good.
flaming hot.
The bagel flavoring is really good. It's not quite as dense as a normal bagel that you buy. I don't know, but I like them. It'd be good. I'm going to have one tomorrow with salmon on it.
Yeah,
There you go.
Lox. He makes the best bagels and lox. So yeah, since he's only made 4, and I know Chloe's gonna want one.
Yeah.
So we'll make a fresh batch. Now that we know how easy they are to make with just 2 ingredients, and we've got those ingredients on hand, we'll be making bagels and lox for breakfast tomorrow. Thanks for sticking around, guys. See you next time. Bye.